Hello, I'm Energy, and welcome back to another Hypixel Skyblock video. Today, I'll be buying a level 200 Golden Dragon and comparing it to the Ender Dragon. There's a couple things I want to test. How many coins in the bank do I need before it outdamages the Ender Dragon? And how much more damage will it end up doing? After I do these tests, I'll let you know my opinions and whether or not I think it's worth it. The damage test I'll be doing today will be using Estrella and my Storm Armor. So this will differ if you're using a melee setup, and obviously it'll do more damage to the hype, but it should get the same idea. I'm going to start by putting 250 mil in the bank. You can see 100 mil here, 150 here. We'll be testing the damage on hub zombies. We're not going to do Enderman because obviously the Ender Dragon's going to do better because of its perk that lets it do 200% more damage to Ender mobs. Let's go into the first test. So this is with 250 mil in the bank. First it's going to be the Ender Dragon just to get the base damage. 1.823, around 1.8. Now with the Golden Dragon, 1.7. So with 250 mil, it doesn't do enough. It only does around 100k less, which isn't bad, but it's definitely not better. And the Ender Dragon has the perk of 10% better stats, which means you have more EHP. So if you're using this in dungeons, you need more than 250 mil for sure. Now let me deposit 250 mil into the bank. So now it's going to be 500 mil Golden Dragon versus the Ender Dragon. So the Ender Dragon does 1.82, as we already saw. This now does 1.9. So 500 mil is already doing 100k more outside of dungeons. However, like I said before, you will have less EHP in dungeons if you were to test it. But that's pretty good. That's quite a bit of extra damage. I'm gonna see exactly where it starts doing more damage. So I'll cut to where I find it. Okay, it looks like with 425 million, I consistently do 30,000 more damage than with the Ender Dragon. But honestly, if you're gonna buy such an expensive pet, I'd recommend by at least having 500 mil in the bank. Probably would want to go all the way to 1 billion. Keep in mind that my gold collection is at 10 million, so you could get this to 100 million and it would do slightly more damage. It is mage though, so the extra strength and magic find that the gold collection gives won't really affect mage too much, I don't believe. But yeah, that can change the difference. Now I have 1 bill in the bank, as you can see. And if you're wondering if some of it can be in your personal and some of it can be a co-op, it can. I tested it earlier. It doesn't affect it. You can split it up like this. Now let's see how much damage I'm doing. 2.3. That is honestly a significant increase, like 500k more outside of dungeons is quite a lot. Keep in mind, the current cheapest level 200 Golden Dragon is 1.14 billion, well 1.15 we'll say. And the current prices of a non-tier boosted Ender Dragon is only 750 million. So you're saving 400 million just on that part. And you also have to have at least 500 mil in the bank for it to be better. So this pet is already 900 million more expensive, but there's a few more things you have to do if you want to fully optimize this pet. To unlock the premier account, you need to put in around 100 million coins extra, as you can see from all the bank upgrades you'd have to do, which already puts it up to over 1 billion coins more than the Ender Dragon, which is pretty pricey. But as you can see, in the description, it also says you need the Gilded Museum rank. If we look at the museum ranks, this requires that you have 500 million worth of items in your museum. That means you have to soulbound something pretty expensive or a lot of pretty cheap items. I decided to soulbound my Estrella, which goes plenty over the 500 million coin mark. So keep in mind, before buying this pet, you're going to need to soulbound items worth up to 500 million. So make sure the items that you soulbound are items that you're going to want to keep for the rest of the game, because you will obviously never be able to get them back. You could go as little as 100 million if you just want to put 500 million in the bank. However, this isn't recommended because eventually you're going to want to put 1 billion in the bank, and the 1 billion coin Golden Dragon, as we saw, is significantly better than the 500 million coin one. Now that we have done some damage tests in the hub, I'm still going to do them on Enderman. The Golden Dragon will definitely be worse, however it does give you an additional magic find. So as you can see, I have 149 while holding this pet, and only 135. The additional magic find could be nice if you're trying to do Enderman bosses, but this pet will give you significant more damage. So with the Ender Dragon, I'm doing 2.88 basically. And with the Golden Dragon and a billion in the bank, I'm doing 2.6. It's not too much less, so if you're doing Enderman bosses, you could probably get away with using a Golden Dragon, especially because the extra magic find's quite nice. However, it won't be ideal for your damage, and again, it will also give you less EHP. Now I'm going to go do some tests in dungeons. Okay, so I'm in an F7. I'm going to be testing at the beginning of the dungeon and at the end of the dungeon. So to start with the Golden Dragon, 28 million, 8 million, 40 million, 36, 36. It looks to be about 36. I'm going to call it 36. It depends on which mob you're going to be attacking, obviously, but we'll work with 36. And then quickly to check my EHP, I have 440,000. I'll switch to the Gold Ender Dragon now. My EHP is 532,000. That's actually a significant increase, almost 100,000. And now to do damage tests. Couldn't see the number. I'm seeing a lot of 23s, 28s. It seems to be doing around 10 million less damage per hit. I'm gonna finish clearing the dungeon, and then at the end, I'll test it with blessings. Okay, I finished clearing the dungeon. I forgot to mention this at the beginning. I am Kata 42 and Mage 38, so damage will change, EHP will change, but yeah, that's my stats. It's an F7, so the amount of blessings you get for a different floor will also change. Also, the blessings in general will change. Those are my blessings. I didn't do any secrets, I just cleared the rooms. So yeah, let me do some damage tests. I'm gonna start with the Ender Dragon. And you can see with my EHP with the Ender Dragon is 1.2 million. Undead Skeleton, 39 million, 39 million. Okay, there's undead skeletons over there. I'm gonna test it on those too. But first, let's see the EHP. So from 1.2 million to 1 million. Seems to be 20% more EHP. It was the same at the beginning of the run, from 400k to 500k. Actually, that was 25% more. But the EHP is a significant decrease. Let's see about damage. That's not undead. So from 39 to 48. Let's see if I can find another undead one. 44. 48. From 39 to 48 million damage. That is a 10 million increase, which is pretty significant. It's also around a 25% increase in damage. That's actually pretty good for the Golden Dragon. This is with a bill in the bank, so if you have less money, it will go down. I'm gonna now test it as left click mage. I don't actually have a weapon for this, but I do have a setup. Don't ask why. But I'm gonna test some damage real quick. So starting with the Golden Dragon as left click mage. The Skeletor Prime, 162 million. 176. 120. 165. 162. So it's around the 160 range. Let's switch to the Ender Dragon now. So with the Ender Dragon, I'm doing 146, 150, 160, oh wow, 130, 130, 40, 30. So it's around the 130 to 150 range. This one seems to differ quite a bit more. Around 148, and with the Golden Dragon, I was doing around 168. It's quite a bit more damage. This isn't the best weapon for left click damage, as you can tell. It's an Estrella. Nothing special, but still pretty interesting. Clearly, this is a very good pet, and it increases your damage by quite a lot. However, with such good damage comes a very big price tag of around 2.2 billion coins, excluding the item you have to soulbound. Do I think it's worth it? I think it depends on where you are in the game. If you're more towards the end game, and you're looking to do Master Mode, I think a Golden Dragon is a great pet. Or if you're going to start more Slayers, and you want the extra magic find, the Golden Dragon definitely gets the job done. However, if you're still doing things like F7, and you don't really need the extra damage, I would recommend sticking to the Ender Dragon, as it's only 775 million. That if you plan to start doing something like M7 soon, and you don't have a Golden Dragon, you're probably going to need one for clearing. But you can't sell your Ender Dragon, because for the final phase, you still need an Ender Dragon. Another thing to keep in mind is a significant EHP drop. If you're going to start doing Master Mode, make sure that you're ready to start with less health. You get to play more safe, and the mobs do more damage. So doing more damage is useful, but health is equally important. well, that's all for today's video, and until next time, later.